What's up, humans, and welcome to a holiday Psicoactivo. Okay, so I am currently out. I decided to take a few days vacation because my wife is currently in a different city, Mexico City, finishing her PhD, and I'm going to visit her. And I am going to be recording a few things over there because I am going to the Chapultepec Castle, which is kind of like Mexico's White House. But that garden is where Jacobo Greenberg met Pachita the first time. And I'm going to take some shots there, some B roll, just so you guys can know where that meeting took place. Because that's what essentially took Dr. Greenberg through the biggest rabbit hole of his life. But today is one of the first 6 videos that I am going to leave prepared for you guys. The first one, as you guys can see in the thumbnail, has to do with one of the films that I appreciate the most about either science fiction or the comic book genre. One of the most provocative ideas that I ever saw on film came from a Zack Snyder movie. I happen to think that Man of Steel is one of the best comic book movies ever. But I know that not everybody thinks the same way. But before he made DC Comics films, and before this property was part of this DC Comics, because Watchmen eventually became part of DC Comics, Zack Snyder gave his rendition of Watchmen. And in the film, he changes a few things from the graphic novel. If I'm not mistaken, in the film, Ozymandias harnesses Dr. Manhattan's power to use it in order to create a massive explosion and a mass casualty event and blame him, make him the villain, as the world is on the brink of nuclear disaster. Brilliant. If that sounds familiar to real life, it's because right now the world is extremely divided. The new administration does have, or at least it's trying in their way to prevent further war. Right now, think about the ways in which we could convince the entire world population of coming together. I've told you guys my solution already. I think ego deaths is one of the most peaceful ways in which this can happen. But Zack Snyder went really dark and offered one of the solutions, which has been one of the biggest conspiracy theories about UFOs in history too. This false flag operation, Ozymandias creates the false flag by actually detonating one of Dr. Manhattan's explosions. But in the act, he brought everyone in the world together with a common enemy. And this reminds me of this already legendary speech from former President Ronald Reagan. Here it is.
In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war? 2 centuries ago, in a hall much smaller than this one, in Philadelphia, Americans met to draft a constitution. In the course of their debates, one of them said that the new government, if it was to rise high, must be built on the broadest base, the will and consent of the people. And so it was, and so it has been. My message today is that the dreams of ordinary people reach to astonishing heights. If we diplomatic pilgrims are to achieve equal altitudes, We must build all we do on the full breadth of humanity's will and consent and the full expanse of the human heart. Thank you. God bless you all.
Yeah. So if these plans or ideas from elites are in any way true, this might be one of the scenarios that we could be dealing with. It's going to be really difficult to find actual evidence of that false flag operation until it actually happens. But I mean, over the last 20 years, there were a bunch of things that were believed to be conspiracies, and many of them turned out to be real. Not exactly like that, but they turned out to be true. So we can't really discount anything. And it only takes one elite who is like off his rocker to try to enact some type of plan that is similar to this in the name of bringing people together. In this case, and if you extrapolate this to what is actually happening with the UFO disclosure movement, there's a bunch of people who believe that a lot of this is a false flag operation. I spoke to Grant Cameron the other day, and he is completely distrustful of pretty much every effort that is coming from one side or another side of the government that is trying to do disclosure. I'm not sure I'm part of that school of thought yet. I'm also not saying that Grant Cameron is not correct, but I still need to see some more evidence to suggest or confirm that this is actually like a devious plan to enslave humanity or to create some kind of mass casualty event or, enact an alien invasion. But do you think that an event like this would have a positive effect that can bring people together as divided as we are? I don't know if equal deaths for everyone is going to be possible. I sure hope that people like Mr. Paul Stamets or Rick Doblin, Dr. Rick Doblin, or Michael Pollan or Hamilton Morris maybe join forces and try to do something like this. I would join them. I think it's probably the least violent idea to try and bring people together. But what other solutions do you guys see to try and bring people together? That's the plan. That's one of the only ways in which we can actually have some meaningful change and get to reach that next level in our consciousness collectively. But there's also those other options. So let me know what you guys think. What would be the best way to bring people together, like dramatically fast? What do you think would be the best choice? I would love for you guys to brainstorm in the comments so we can get somewhere. I do think we can, honestly, but I don't know, because that plan at the end of that movie was successful. They manufactured a villain against whom the whole world can oppose. That's wild. I don't know if it would work as we are right now, but let me know what do you guys think in the comments. All right. This is video one for the holidays. That's it for me today. If you like the content you see, I'm going to ask you to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can get notified when a new video drops. If you want to support the channel in any other way, I'm going to leave a few links in the description. Take your pick. You can also become a member on our member channel on YouTube. And you can also support us on the KGRA website. I'm going to leave it in the description too. There's a subscription there where you can have access to everything, not just my content. And it supports creators, Any help that you send this way is always appreciated. So thank you. And I'll see you guys in video number 2 during these holidays tomorrow. And remember, stay curious. Yeah. Bye.